Okay. Okay, so I wanted to talk about what's it called? Formatting a worksheet. I hope you guys can hear me. So, formatting a worksheet, like I said in the introductory video, is you have this is a sheet, this is a sheet, this is a sheet. All these things labeled here are sheets. Now, if you introduce a new sheet, it comes out as sheet one or sheet two or whatever, right? Usually, every sheet contains information about something. So what it means automatically is that you can name it, you can color it, you can do whatever you need to do on it. Now, to do that, that is to customize a worksheet, you can right click on it, right? Once you right click on it, you can now do whatever you want to do. You can insert something, maybe a new worksheet or a chart from somewhere or wherever you have it, you can insert it there. If you don't want to do that, you can also delete it, you can rename it, right? Rename it is if you want to give it all these kind of names. So in this case, I can either click here and rename it. So in this one, I want to call it blank sheets, right? I've renamed it. I can click a new one and double click on it and say test script, something like that. Do you understand? So that is how to rename worksheet. Then the next is I can decide to move or copy or whatever. So I click on move, right? And I want to copy this intro. I want to copy filtering, right, into a new book. So what it means is that I want to take filtering here, I want to leave it here, I want to go to a new book, like go to a new book and copy it into a new book, right? So this is how to actually, oh, I copied blank sheets. I'm sorry guys. Not blank sheet. I want to copy, hey, this thing has come back again. Oh my god. Hey God in heaven. Is it not my village people that is following me today like this? In the fake. In the fake. Okay, I found a way around it. I think this can work. So um so this thing that I'm doing now, I'm doing boju boju. There's plenty way to kill a rat. Okay, let me extend it. Now, so you can, okay, so I said I wanted to copy. So I come to filtering, for instance, I'll right click on it. I want to move or copy it. In this case, I want to actually copy it. I'll create a new copy. I don't want to copy it into any place here. I want to copy it into a new Excel worksheet entirely. I'll come to here, click on new workbook, or in fact, let me copy it into this one I just recently created after blank sheet. Then I'll just click on it. I'll click on OK, and then it will take me to. Did I click on OK? Did I click on OK? This one too is. I think I clicked on OK. Let me just minimize it like this, so that we can see it. This my tax bar is messing things up. So you can see that what I did was I copied from that big plenty worksheet. I copied it already into this guy here without doing control A, control copy. I'll now go, I'll click on file, I'll click on new, all those plenty long distance journey. I didn't do all of that. It is from the worksheet itself that I wanted to copy, that I just duplicated everything without going roundabout. Do you understand? So that's for copying. Then please don't save. Thank you. I appreciate you. No, don't save. No. All right. So that's for that one. Then also from here, I told you that you can actually protect sheets from here also, right? Rather than doing it from this format place, you can protect sheets here. It's the same way. Once you click on it, it will ask you for password. You will select what you want to select, and it's going to allow you to do whatever you want to do. So that's about that. Then you can also change the color, right? For instance, this database is black. I don't want it to be black. I want it to be I want it to be eh But, hey God, oh, sorry. Oh. Winifred, is it the same thing for you? so sorry about it. So should we continue? Because I will share the recording so you can see the recording. Should we continue? Should we wait for him? All right. Honestly, what we have done so far about that is the first one we did was to general everybody. Then the second one was personalized mail. After which you said I shouldn't do anything again. I will have to make the titles. We met with the titles on Thursday. That's all that has been done. Then the next one is to HODs, of which he said, okay, after these titles, we'll do to HOD. So we're going to do to HOD probably on Monday morning or something like that. That's all that we have done so far on it. Because I'm explaining it to her. She's not, you know, when you're explaining something, but the person maybe somebody want to. I feel like she's trying to look for how she want to pin something. I don't know what's going on there. Do you understand? She's looking for how she want to pin something on, because how do you keep on asking one thing? Okay, you're back. All right. So data. I was talking about coloring. What's it called? I've already changed to green without knowing that I've changed to green. All right. I was talking about, okay, I've not changed it. So I was talking about coloring a worksheet like this. So for instance, you have database and you have black. So I don't want it to be black. So I'll click on it. I'll click on tab color and change it to green, as patriotic mutual benefit citizen. I will do green. If I go to another sheet, you will see that it has changed to green. So I think that's just about it. Then, sorry, you can also hide the sheet. The reason why hide sheets. Please, can you mute yourself? Thank you. The reason why hiding a sheet is very important is because there are sometimes that you actually have a worksheet and you have worked on, you've done plenty analysis on it, but what you want to present to people is not the analysis. You want to just show them the summary version. You understand? But that's all those analysis that you did. You don't want to delete it. You still want to refer to it maybe later on. And it's that same sheet, that same workbook that you want to share to board members or whatever. So you can just decide to say, okay, oh, this is my analysis. Let me just hide it. Once I've hidden it, they will only see the one that I've given them to see. They are not going to see any hidden cells or any hidden sheets. You understand? So that one is important. Then you can also decide to unhide. You understand? They will show you all the whole hidden something, and you click on OK, it will come out again. So that is how to hide, unhide. No, the person will be able to unhide, but the person will not see that you have hidden cells. It's only if the person is prognosing. Maybe I'm a boy is worrying the person. The person now decides to be checking whether you hid or whether the person. Me, I can be like that too. Okay, it shows that. Yes, yes. So for instance, now there is no hidden cell, so you can see unhide is grayed out. Yeah, but if you hide a sheet, let me hide two sheets, right? And if you send it to somebody, this is how they will see. They will not see those ones that you've hidden. They only see the one you sent to them. But if they want to come out with the amebo, if they right click on it, this unhide will be visible. It's not be grayed out. So that's how they will know that this madam or this person hid something. So if they click on unhide, they will now see the list of what you have hidden. So if they now start checking up and down, they can now start clicking, okay, oh, I want to see what is in database. They'll click on database. They'll click, okay, database will come and like, oh, this is what this girl was hiding from me. They'll right click again, okay, I want to see whatever. Do you understand? So that's just how to. There's something else again I want to show you guys that is very sweet, and please can you just get out? And there's something I want to show you guys too that is very, very, beautiful with Excel. Now, for instance, I don't know if there is border in this thing. I think there's border. Let me just say I want to put border around some things, right? And I want to do it at the same time. Maybe what is in A is the same thing as what is in B, is what is in C. Maybe for instance, I have MBA life. staff list. MBA life assurance. I have retail here or something like that. The same format, the way it is, name, staff ID, blah 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 like that. And I want to do formatting on it, right? I can just decide to click this guy, click this guy, click this guy at the same time. That is, I will control click on it, click, 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 so that I'm highlighting everything. Then anything that I do here, yes, anything I do here is going to also affect all those other ones. So you can see I've put border, let's say I put yellow and bold or something like that, and um, change the font or something like that. So whatever I did there, you can see everything from A to F has taken that format that I did. See this one too. It has taken it. So that is another beautiful thing about. So it means that you can actually format more than one cells at the same time without wasting time. You cannot be move on with your life and be all right. So that's another beautiful thing about Excel. To and please oh, this thing it have catch me before. I've forgotten that everything was still selected, and I started working on one particular sheet. I started cleaning and doing before I realized Mogbe oh, I just thought I've gone a long way before I realized that yeah, yeah, yeah. I clicked on everything. So immediately you finish doing what you want to do with the multiple select, please unselect it though. By unselecting, just click on a different sheet. Do you understand? It will unselect. So you can see that you- yes, it will go away. You can see that that one I removed A4 in this one. A4, yeah. So you can see filtering A4 too is gone. On my blank sheet, well, there's nothing on blank sheet, but assuming there was something here, this one too would have gone. You understand? So that's the thing about um that's the thing with multi-select. Do you understand? So that's another thing you should take note of. Right? Now the next thing on the list is we're progressing though. The next thing on the list is named range and cell reference. Oh my god, are you sure you guys can do cell referencing today? That's all. Oh, it's not just you. Self-referencing is thinking some things. All right, so let's do name ranges. Then we'll do cell referencing as the last one. Now, name ranges are actually very, very important because towards the end of the class, when we start doing dashboarding and all of that, you will now see the importance of name ranging and all of that. Now, name ranging is very simple. It's just about giving structure to your information or data. That's that. In fact, that's just it. It's just about giving structure. Yes, named range. That is, you know what a range is. No, we're doing no, we're doing both of them. But let's start with name range now. Same reference will be the last. Name range is what I'm looking at your this thing. I'm looking at your course content. The name range is coming before reference. So name you know what a range is. A range is a group of cell. It was discussed in the first video. So for instance, I have all of this, right? This is a range. Everything now highlighted is a range. From like this to like this is a range. From in fact, any as far as it's more than one cell is a range. So it's a collection of cells. Now, when you now say named ranges, that is, you are naming a range. That's just what it is. Now, you might be thinking, why am I naming a range? Why should I name a range? It's very simple. It's very important. It's very simple. I'm naming a range to give structure to your to your data, right? And you might be thinking, okay, why do I need to give structure? Yes, I yeah, okay. I think it recorded though. Yes, it's recorded. Yes, I will. Try. Okay. Sorry. All right. So you might be asking yourself, okay, why should I name my range? Why should I do all that? Like I said, you want to give structure. Why do you want to give structure? It's so that you can be able to make reference to it whenever you need it. For instance, you have a whole revenue here, right? You have revenue. All this whole thing here is revenue. If I now say, oh, I want to sum revenue, I can do is equals to sum, then I would type in revenue. Do you understand? It's because I have named the range. So you can see that the minute I type in revenue, it has highlighted revenue for me. Did you notice it? It highlighted revenue immediately. So immediately I click OK, it will just sum it up for me without me doing is equals to sum, and then I'm coming to be highlighting up and down, 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 and all those long distance journey. No. Do you understand? So that is the difference between summing, naming your range, and so it just helps you to put structure and some kind of order, and make you feel like a badass. Do you understand? It's not like then also when you want to do dashboarding, it's very very important. That's what it's like the end of the class. So now let's no, that's not formula for name range. Oh. There's no formula for name range. Oh. I wanted to just show you what we're trying to achieve, like what you can do if you name your range. No, 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 no. No, you did not. All right, so that's just it. So why I copied it out again into a new cell is because I told you I've worked on this sheet a lot of time. So a lot of things has been changed. So I just wanted to make sure that there's no named range in this one. Now, another thing I also forgot to tell you at the beginning of the class is I think I told you guys in your I think I must have said it in your introductory to Excel, the video something about different type of the data types we have in Excel. Did I mention it? I don't think I did. Okay, maybe it will be. Maybe I'll try to put it in the next video. But let me just talk about it. In Excel, there are different type of data types. Data types meaning that um, Excel sees a cell according to the data type in that cell. For instance, if I write A, B, C, Excel sees this thing as a text. And because it's a text, it will automatically align to the left hand side in the cell. If I write 1, 2, 3, it sees this as a number, and if I click enter, it will go to the right hand side of the cell. That is how Excel sees this thing. Or it also sees decimal places, right? If decimal places, it sees it also as a number. It also sees dates 03/03/2023. It sees it as a date, also aligns it to the right hand side. Now, if you write AB123, it sees it as a numcha, or what it calls, it's still a text, right? Numcha is number character, right? That's what it sees it as. A123. This is also a text. Even though there is 123, it's seeing it as a text. If I write phone number 0813 093 5524, right? This is a number to Excel because everything that is there is a number. If I click enter, it's going to the left hand side. But me and you know that this is not a number, it should be a text, because every number values in Excel, when Excel sees that as a number data, it can sum it up, it can average it, it can count it and all of that. But do you want to average your number, your phone number? Do you want to sum up your phone numbers? No, you just want it there as a text. That is why you need to put in like you need to like convert it to a text, like maybe put in like a what's it called now, this thing, what's that thing called, what's this thing called, inverted comma, the single one, right? So once it's there, it sees it as a text, so you can see that the thing is no longer going to the right hand side as a number. You see it now as a text, meaning you cannot sum up this number. It's you can only count, maybe you have plenty phone number, you can only count how many phone numbers you have in that cell. It cannot do sum it up, or you cannot average it for you, or those kind of thing. Then we also have, what do we also have as a data type? That's just, I think that's just what we have. We have figures also sees it as a number, and all of that. If you want to do a calculate a formula in Excel, you want to do like a function or a formula in Excel, and that cell is in text, it's not going to see it as a formula. For instance, now let me change this to a text. Where is text? Where is text here? Text. Let me change this. Now this is a text. If I do is equals to upper, sometimes they say can full person hand, but let me just try. It's not supposed to calculate it exactly. So you can see that this is a function or a formula now, and it's automatically supposed to calculate, but it's not calculating it because the cell I have put it inside is a text, is formatted as a text. So that's another thing you need to take note of. So once you do a function, a formula in exam is not working, the first thing that should come to your mind first and foremost, there can be different reasons so why it will not function. But the first thing that will come to your head is, oh, where I'm calculating it, is it a text data? Is it recognizing it as a text or as a general or a number function? But now that it's seeing it as a text, I can change it back to either general, or I'll change it to number or whatever. But let's just leave it as general, right? And then I will have to go back and redo it. Do you understand? So I'll do it again. It's equals to upper. Why did I put brackets here for crying out loud? On upper this guy, then I'll close my bracket, and then you can see that the thing now did properly because I have changed the formatting on this cell from text to number. So these are just data types that they are in Excel. And Excel automatically sees a date as a number. What I mean by that is every number in Excel is corresponding to a date, or every date in Excel is corresponding to a number. For instance, if I do 01, right, this is a number, right? One is a number. If I change this number to a short date, it's going to come out a date for me. Are you seeing it? Like Excel sees every date as a number, or every number as a date. It can be converted either ways. Do you understand? So that is one thing you should take note of in Excel. Now, why did I bring this thing up? I brought it up because you remember I copied this whole data and replicated it in this place, right? This is date sold. All of these things are in dates 2012, blah blah blah. But by the time I copied it, Excel automatically saw it as a number and copied it to the corresponding number rather than a date. Does not mean that this thing is wrong. No, it's just Excel doing its own default mumu-ness. That's just Excel doing what is default, what it has been programmed to do, recognizing it as a number. So what you now need to do is, you have to convert it back into a date. For it, you have to convert it back into a date. To convert it back is very simple. Just highlight whatever, it's control shift down so that you highlight all the information that is there, right? And go to this your number, this thing, and change it back to short date. Once you change it back to short date, automatically it's going to go back to the date. So you can see it has gone back to the date 29/8/2012. That is the 29th day of August or 2012. You remember what I said about it taking the format of my laptop something, right? So it has taken the format of my laptop, coming as month first, date first, blah blah blah. But no, I don't want to see it this way. I want it to be in date first. I mean, what's that thing called? Yes, date first, whatever, whatever. So I'll come to custom, right? I'll come to custom. I'll go and look for the one that looks more like what I want, which is instead of month, day, year, I want day, month, year. So I have to go and look for day. I think this is it. Day, month, year, and I'll click on OK. And once I do it, it will now change from whatever it was to day, month, year. So you can see it has changed back to day, month. So that's one thing about dates, that dates is very peculiar and very tricky in Excel. So we are going to do date and time, this thing. When we get to date and time, look at it very well. So that's for that one. Then now back to named ranges, right? Now in named ranges, like I was saying, if you want to do named ranges, the reason is very simple. Is because you want to make your life easy, put a structure around something and name your range whatever, because maybe you want to refer to it later on or something like that, something like that. So that's why you want to name your range. Usually you name the range and you move on with your life. Now let me do an example. Like I said, a collection of cells is a range. So one two sorry 2 3 4 5 6 is a range, right? So now everything in revenue here, you understand, are revenues. They are all under revenue. So I will highlight revenue. Let me just do control alt down, right? Control alt down. I've highlighted all of them, right? Then I did not highlight the revenue. Control alt down, highlight everything. Then I will come to where I have my name box here. Are you understanding? You know, I told you that this is an address bar. It's also called a name box. It's it performs two function. It shows you the location where you are at, and also tells you where you are at. It shows you whatever location, and also what that look like. If you say, okay, oh, what's your house, say 27 where Agbekolade street, something like that. So that's what it does. So in this case, I don't want it to be AB3 or whatever. I want it to be called revenue, right? So I'll call it revenue, capital letter. Where are you now? Revenue, right? Once I click enter, oh fuck, there's another cell called revenue already. Okay, fine, let me just call it another name. Let me call it rev, right? Instead of revenue, let me call it rev. Good. So I've named it rev now, revenue. So this is my revenue in this sheet, right? Unit price also, I will highlight unit price. Don't forget, before you name a range, you are highlighting it first of all. You have to highlight what you want to rename. Then you come here and I want to call this UP. I don't want to take chances. It's like I've named another thing, unit price already. So let me call it UP, right? I've named it. I'll just type UP. I'll click enter. It has named it, right? You can see here, if I highlight this one too, you can see every of the what have been highlighted. You can see what came out, revenue. Also, if I highlight unit price, what will come out is UP, right? So let me not do quantity, and I will show you why I will not do it. Now I want to get the sum of my quantity. Sum of quantity. To do sum of quantity, I'll do sum abi. Now to sum it up, I have to go and mark what I'm summing up, isn't it? I would wait, I'll be marking it to shall be marking. If it's up to 1,000, I shall mark it like that. Or when we get to sum, I'll show you the other one. I shall mark it. Oh yeah, mark. Oh yeah, I've marked it finish. Oh. When I've marked it finish, I'll click enter. Or I'll close my bracket, sorry, and click enter. So this is how I have summed up what my quantity, right? I summed up quantity like this. And the next one, I want to sum up unit price. You know that, remember, unit price, I've already called it UP. I've highlighted the whole range, I've called it UP already. So if I want to sum it up, I'll just do is equals to sum. So instead of me to start highlighting it, I already know that my unit price is UP. I've already highlighted everything already. I'll just type, I want to sum up UP. You can see that the thing has already highlighted what UP is. I'll close my bracket and I hit enter, and it will sum it up for me. So I did not have to go and start highlighting anything again from the beginning, right? Because I've already named the range. That is just what I want. Then eh? Okay, then my revenue, let me not do sum, let me do average for this one. So in this one, I say, okay, it's equal to average. This is average. Then what I called it is rev. I'll just type rev. You can see it here, rev. This one, if I click on revenue here, it will take me to the other name range that I named revenue. You can see it's no longer highlighting this revenue. This one is highlighting another one. That's the other one I called revenue. You can see it's highlighting this one. I'm coming. Oh, please. I'm coming. 1 minute. Um. So instead of me to highlight rev, I don't want is rev I want, right? Because that's the one I want to add. So I'll do rev and I'll close it. I'll do enter. It has averaged it for me. No stress. Are you seeing that life is easy? So this is how named range is being used, right? It's very, very easy to use it. Now, you might be asking or you might be thinking, okay, so how do I know if I've named something so and so some one time like that, I've forgotten I even named it, and I want to figure out if I named it or what I named it to, and blah 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 blah. There's a way to get it. I'm coming. Let me just find out. Is one of these places. Da 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 da. Aha. So you find it under formula tab, right? So under formula tab, you will go to name manager. Once you go to name manager, it will now show you all the names that you have named that you have named in your life in Excel in this worksheet, right? In this workbook, sorry, it will give you all the names. So you can imagine all the old things I've named in this workbook. This is the one I just recently named UP, right? And I also named Rev. So this is it. So you can see. So this is where you will see that, oh, okay, I think I've named something amount, amount before. I've named something DG. I've named something name. I've named something da. So this is how you can see. So if you want to delete a name, you understand, I don't want anything to be UP again. If I click on delete, it will delete. Are you sure I want to delete the name UP? Yes, delete it. I don't want anything to be UP again. Are you sure you want to delete Rev? This one I just did. Yes, delete it please. I don't want it to be Rev again. I'll click on close. So you can see that the formula that I used UP for is not working again, because now Excel is saying it did not understand what UP is. So what is UP? Oh, please, I don't understand what you are speaking. The one I used Rev for also is not understanding the English that I'm saying. Say, please, what is Rev? Because I have deleted the name. There's nothing called Rev again, and there's nothing called UP again. So you can see, but even when I highlight it, under the name box, it is not bringing out anything. Koshisha is not working. It's not seeing it again because I've taken it out from the formula. So, do you have any question around name ranges? Because I wanted to show you how it works in both case scenarios, when you do not when you do not name it, and the one when you name it, how it works. Yes, we can do. You can name any range. Oh, yeah. Yes. Okay. Yes. Yeah. So we are going to the one I've been dreading to go to since. Are you ready? Yeah, I love that spirit. All right. So we are going to self referencing. And babies. First and foremost, let me even explain this self referencing to you guys. Let me come here and explain self referencing to you people. Do I have it here? I think I have it here. And now I did not have it here. I thought I did. Okay, yes, I have it here. So let me quickly explain something to you guys so that you understand what I'm trying to drive out by the time I start doing self referencing. Now, in Excel, in Excel, in Excel, there is a default way, just like in every other thing in this life. There's usually the default way of doing things. Then there can now be the every other kind of way of doing things. Do you understand? Now, just like that, in Excel, there is the default way of referring to things. You know, when I say refer means that maybe you want to direct something to another thing. Is that the English meaning of refer? Yes, now you are directing to another person. I want to refer this person. I want to direct you to this person. Now that's the meaning. So reference is about directing something to another location. This is my default location and I want to refer it to this location. This is A12 for instance, and then A12, I want A12 to refer to C5. So that is just reference in Excel, right? Now in Excel, there is just the default one is the relative referencing. Now, the relative referencing is okay. First and foremost, there are three different referencing types in Excel. There's the relative referencing, there's the absolute referencing, there is the mixed referencing. These 3D structured and external referencing that you are seeing here are also types of referencing in Excel, but they are all dependent on these three types of referencing. So let's talk about these first three types of referencing. This other one will fall in place according to the Holy Spirit, right? Because if I try to explain it now, I will only try to confuse you. But by the time we progress, we will now refer to this one back and you now understand it better. But let me just talk about this first one. Now, relative is the normal type of referencing in Excel. E.g., for instance, I have one, I have two, I have three. Now, what it is saying here is one is in C12, right? It is in column C, row 12. That is what it is saying. So one is referring to C12, column C. It is referring to column C in row 12. That is what it is saying. Two is referring to column C, row 13. Three is referring to column C, row 14. Relative. It is relative to the position that it is in. It is not absolute. It is not locked up there. It is just there, relative to there, meaning it can change, right? According to how you want it to change. Now, if I decide to do fill down, remember at the beginning of the class, I spoke about fill down. That is this tiny box at the bottom of your whatever, right? If I decide to do fill down and I highlight these three things and I fill down, right, it will keep on counting for me, right? Now what it is doing is that it is just referring to the upper one, right, and saying okay, oh, what from what this one has said, oh, it means go down again. From this step, go down again. That is just what it is doing. It is referring one step behind or one step after, sorry, what it has done before. So number 4 is referring to C15, 5 C16, 6 C17. Please mute your mic, Oti, for thanks. Who's in the church? Anu, Anu, please mute your mic. So that is just what relative referencing is all about, right? Now, how will I notice now? We are teaching class now. I didn't see you. Chat. Yes, I will. I will. But if you go through the recording and you don't understand something, you can reach out to me and I will explain. Okay.
How do you professionally say, I'm not staying late to deal with this?
All right. Great. So, relative referencing, that is just what it is all about. It just refers to the location that it is and it is free. When I say it is free, it can change, it can move away from that. You understand? Now, I do if I write 2 here, for instance, right? And I'll say that anything that is here, will times it by this 2, right? So I now do a formula, say it's equals to 1 times these two, right? Remember, I did not write 1 times 2. I'm clicking on the location that it is in. I'm clicking on C12 and D10 and I click on OK. Now it will do 1 times 2 and it will give me the answer. Now, still on relative referencing, this is why I said you should please listen to me. Oh, please. I don't know how best to explain this thing so that you understand. Now, if I drag down, still using my fill down, Excel will still do the normal default reference, taking it one step down, one step down, one step down, using the formula that is inside. So if I drag down, right, this is what it has done. Now, remember what is here is C12. That is the first thing is C12. That is this guy. The second information here is D10. This is D10 too. Now, I dragged it down. So what it did is that it also dragged down the formula. From C12, it dragged it down to C13. And from D10, it dragged it down to what? D11. Are you seeing what it did? It dragged down from this one to this one, this one to this one. When I also dragged down, it also went down again from C13 to C14, right? And from D12 to from D11, sorry, to D12. So this is typical Excel. Excel will just look at, oh, what was there before, take it a step, take it one step down, depending on how you take it. Oh, if you take it to the right, it say take it one step to the right. If you take it to the left, take it one step to the left. That is just default Excel for you. It will calculate like that automatically. That is relative referencing. Now, we already know that this thing that it has done here for us is rubbish, because obviously what I said it should do for me is everything that is here, oh, times it by only this guy. So what I want in this one is that I want this guy to be absolute. I want it to be fixed. Pam, it should just be there kpaka like this. It should not change, it should not move away from there. So even if I keep on dragging, let it just remain in D10. So I'm moving now from relative to absolute. Please understand what I am saying. Now, I've already said, let me do that one in this other one so that you will see the difference, right? Now, the first one I said is equals to this guy, right, times this guy. That's D10, right? This is what I did in this case. And then I dragged down. Then it gave me all these plenty things because it did relative referencing and it was taking a step down. But in this case, I say no, everything that is here, let it continue to be relative, oh, continue to be going down, down, down. But shey you see, when it comes to these two, please don't go down, remain on 2 for me. What it means is that I want to make 2 an absolute reference. Let it just be absolutely referencing 2, don't move away from 2. So in that case, instead of doing D10, I will have to lock up D10. This one will still continue to be doing the normal relative reference that it knows how to do, but this D10 will be locked up. Now, for me to lock it up, I am going to introduce the dollar sign before the column and also before the row. Remember, D speaks to column D and 10 speaks to row 10. So if I want to lock up all of these, I have to lock up both the column and the row. So I'm going to lock up D and lock up 10, meaning I have to put dollar sign before D and dollar sign before 10. To do that, I have to click on F4. Now, some laptops, when you click on F4 to introduce it, it will not introduce, it will do something else, right? That's fine, don't panic. If you click on your system and it's not bringing up me, I just clicked on my own F4 now and it automatically brought out the dollar sign for me for all of that. But if you click on your own system and it did not do, you can click on FN first and then F4. Do you understand? You can click on FN first and then F4. But if you do not see FN on your system, still don't panic. Just kuku use your own hand and type dollar sign. Just use your own hand and type dollar sign in peace. So let me just type dollar sign so that you understand. So you just go to before D, that's before each of this thing. You go there, you do shift 4. You know shift 4 is dollar now. You do shift 4, you put in your dollar sign, you go to 10, you do shift 4 again, put in your dollar sign. then you have locked it up. You click on OK. Now, clicking on OK, if I decide to drag it down now, you will see that it will give me the information I need. So you can see now this is C12 to D10. The next one is C13. You can see it, but it still remain on D10. It's locked up D10. So D10, that is now an absolute reference. It's absolutely referencing just that location. It did not move again from there again. But this other one that I did not lock up, it is still relative. It's still moving down according to where I said move down, move this. So that is absolute referencing. Now let me go to mixed referencing. Before I move to mixed referencing, do you understand absolute referencing and relative referencing? Hmm? Great. Hmm? No, go ahead. You have to ask the question. And the role. Yeah, yeah, great. Now, mixed referencing means, look, guys, I know that this is a this cell is a combination of a row and a column. However, I want you to lock up just the column for me and leave the row free. Or I want you to lock up just the row for me and leave the column free. Let me repeat myself. A cell is a combination of referencing a column and a row. You understand? This cell is C12. It's not just C or it's not just 12. Now that is a cell, right? Now, if I now want to do a mixed referencing, I'm now saying, you guys, please, what I want to calculate is lock up the column for me and leave the row free. Don't lock it, don't introduce a dollar sign, or lock up the row for me and leave the column free. That's just what a mixed referencing is, and I'll explain to you also another example on how that works. Now let me clean these guys and put in another something for them. Okay, let me, 4 3 3 4. So still doing these times, so still doing these times. Let me delete this free line here. So still doing this times table that we are doing right now. I want to do is I want to say this one times this one. You know how multiplication timetable is now? It will give you the answer here. This one times this one, it will give you the answer. This one times this one, it will give you the answer. Normal multiplication timetable. Now usually or typically what anybody will think and do is equals to this guy times this guy. You answer, you put the, you now come here again, it's equals to this guy times this guy. Please sir, how long do you want to do that? Your hand will pain you, time will go, you waste time, all those kind of things. You don't want to do that, right? Now if you don't do that, you now come here and say, okay, I've already gotten this one, let me drag them, because you know automatically Excel times things for you or Excel calculate things for you. It's going to give you a wrong figure, and the reason is simple, because it is doing the typical what's it called, relative referencing. That is why you are seeing this nonsense thing that it is calculating for you, because of that relative reference. Let me show you. So this is C11 D10. This one, it will move down C12 D11. You can see the way it kept on moving down. It has left this one that you want it to times, it have go down. Let us see this one. So this one also, it's left this column that you want to times with the up one. He left it, he went to the right because you dragged it to the right, so it also followed suit and went to the right. And also it went down from this three that was there, it kept on going down. So that is just normal Excel, default Excel, right? But in this case, that's not what I want to do. I want to lock up some things, and I want to lock up some things. Let me even gray out this one so that you know the one that we are referring to in this case. So this is the ones that we are working with. We don't want it to leave these ones that we have grade, right? Then let's calculate everything inside here. So I'll now do is equals to 1 times 2, right? Now locking up, that is absolute, cannot work here. Let me tell you why it cannot work here. It cannot work here because in this case we want it to be moving. That is, if I drag whatever that is here, let it move to 3. Don't let it just sit down on only 2. You know that first one that we did, we lock up D10 and it just remained on D10. So if this one, I go and lock up D10, now this is what it will this is what will happen. Everything here be calculate fine for me, like it's going to calculate normal, like yeah, it's good, it's good, it's good. However, if I decide to drag it to the right, it will mess it up. Now let me show you what it has done. It has moved from 1 that is supposed to times by 2, by 3, sorry. It moved to the right and it still remained on 2. Who asked you to remain on 2? Well, I did because I locked it up, right? Let me check the second formula, what it did. It also moved from this 2 to 4, and then it still remained on 2 because of course, I locked up 2, right? And it moved because this one is on relative. There's nothing happening there. So this is now where mixed referencing is important. So once you just get your mixed referencing, you are going to be able to do everything that you're going to do without stressing your life. Now let me show you how to go about that. You do 1 times this one, right? This is the typical information that you want it to function with. However, in this case, you want to lock up this guy, isn't it? You want to lock up C, right? As in, you want it to remain on C so that it doesn't shift when you are shifting it. And you also want it to remain on 10 so that it doesn't go down to 11 or 12 or 13. Do you want me to repeat myself? All right, great. So you want it to lock up C and you also want it to lock up 10. These are the information you want to use. It just be like when you are in lockdown. That time in 2020, they gave us lockdown and they said everybody in Lagos remain inside your house. Does not necessarily mean that they locked you inside your room. You could be in your compound, you could come out to your street, right? However, you cannot go away from Lagos State. So that's just what this one is. So in as much as I'm locking C down, it does not mean that I'm locking a particular cell. I'm only locking the range, right? So which means it can move freely within C. The only problem is that it cannot move away from C. Also the same thing for this 10. I said I want to lock up. I want to lock up 10, meaning yes, it can move within 10. However, I don't want it to go away from 10. Let it not go to 11, let it not go to 9 or whatever, right? So now this is my formula. Like I've said already, I've already know what I want to lock up. I want to lock up C. So anywhere I see C, please lock it up for me. Anywhere you see 10, lock it up for me, right? So in this case, this is C. So of course, to introduce your dollar sign is to press F4. But in this case, since it's only one letter, one place I want to put the dollar, let me just go and put it at the front of the dollar sign without pressing F4. Or better, if you want to use F4, you can just press F4 plenty times until it gives you the one that you want. But since I don't want to do that F4, let me just do dollar sign shift 4 in front of C. I've locked up C. Then I'll go to my 10 where I have 10. In front of 10, I'll also put my dollar sign there and I'll click on enter. So you can see I did not lock up 11. 11, they will be moving, and also D will be moving. It's just that C and 10 that is important to me has been locked up. So I'll click on enter. Now when I do this thing down, when I bring it down, it will calculate for me. Now let me see the formulas. So you can see it's moved down. Remember, I locked up C. Does not necessarily mean it will not move within C. It will not just move away from C. Now also D, I locked up, what's it called, 10, right? This is what I locked up 10. So you can see that it did not leave 10, it remained on 10, right? The same thing here, it did not leave 10, it remained on 10. But C also, it is moving, right? C is locked up, but the numbers, that is the row, is moving. Now if I decide to also drag it to the right, you also see how the thing will function. So you can see also in this one, it's remained on where I wanted it. See, it still remain on C. What's it called, the one that is 10, it still remained on 10, right? It's just that the what's the word, the column changed, right? So that's just it. So even if you check this one, check the formula also, you will also see its function in that manner. So this is how cell referencing, basically this is how it works. So now that you've understood the roots, be the basics, be the whatever, we can now go ahead to start using it, because when you start doing all these formulas, functions and formulas, you need to take note of your of what you are referencing, so that you will not go and do calculation that will return, that will that will give you wrong formula. Imagine when you are doing payroll and you go and mess up a referencing, the thing will just times, double. Ah, I'm not gonna do this kind of mistake on top of my own name now, chai. So that's that's for referencing. Then these ones, I said I was going to explain it when we get to that part, but let me just quickly touch it briefly. I'll not explain it deeply. So this one is if you are referencing, you know that in Excel there are different, in a workbook, sorry, there can be different sheets, right? Meaning if I want to type is equals to, I want to bring up something from filtering sheet. If I go to filtering and I click on is equals to Devin Abbott, you can see the way the thing is appearing on the formula bar. Is equals to, it went to filtering, it picked up the name filtering, it put asterisk pakam, it now went to C2. So it's saying I'm referring to filtering worksheets in row C or in cell C2. That is just what this is talking about here. So you can see it will call the sheet, that is just the way it goes about it, will call the sheet name and the cell name. Now structured is if you are working with a table. So where is that named ranges table? Now in this named ranges table, this is a range, right? If I do control A, control T, right? I'm saying I want to create a table. Don't worry, when we get to table creation, you understand. I just want to explain something to you. If I click on OK, I've automatically turned this thing to a table. It's no longer a range. This is different, a whole lot different from normal ranges in Excel, right? If I now go back to this my guy, where is that place I'm working with? If I go back here and I say is equals to, okay, I've not named this table. Wait, let me name the table. Where is that place? I think this is it, right? I go here and I name the table. Let me call this table Vivian. Um, Vivian. Don't worry, don't bother yourself about what I'm doing. You get to understand it when we get to table and all of that. I just want to explain this cell referencing to you. So if I come here and I say I want to go to, I did not name the column again. Oh. Well, don't worry. If I say I want to go to the this thing, the table, right? I'll go here, I'll go to table. Is it table? Is it table? Name range? Yes, name range. I go to name range, right? I'll go to revenue, right? And then I will click on enter. Now let us see what it did. Now this is what it did. It first of all went to the table name. You can see it will call out the table name first, then it will go to the column name. The column name is revenue in a header, it is a header, so it's called up the header, the table name. This is just structured referencing, right? Now external speaks to, maybe you want to let's get out abeg. Oh yeah, sorry now. Something like you're guessing. Okay, so external is I want to refer to a workbook that is different from this one I'm working with, right? So let's see if I have another workbook opened. No, I don't. Okay, let me just quickly open something else. Sorry, sorry. Let me quickly see if I can open something else. Ah, what happened to all my sheets? Da. Okay. Yeah, but I don't know the name. I'm just trying to do an example. I don't know the name of the sheets or any sheets. I'm just trying to. Yes, it has to be on your system. It has to be saved on your system. Yes. So this in this case now, I want to name that other one I just opened. I don't even know the name. So it will first of all talk about the name of the workbook, the sheet where it is, and the column or whatever, whatever. So it will come here. This is it. I'll come here and what's the problem? What happened? This is it now. Okay, I've not edited allowed it, enabled editing. Okay. So I'll come here and I'll do is equals to I'll go to wherever it is. Then I'll click on D2 and I'll click on enter. So you can see what it's calling. Say, okay, oh, you have got out from your wherever you are. It's showing the that was that word that thing again. No, inverted comma, right? It gives you the inverted comma telling you that okay, oh, you have gone to a sheet or a workbook called blah 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 blah, and you went to sheet one, and you also went to column D2, column cell D2, and then entered, and this is what it returned for you. You understand? So that is just what it is. You can see it's appearing Rahim because D2 has been locked up. So that's why it will not change. Do you understand? So this is just in cell referencing in Excel, right? So now let's look at this. Should we look at it? Should we look at it? It's 4:20. Please, let's not look at it. Yes. Tomorrow, yes, we're having class as usual. We're having class tomorrow by 2. Will you be back from church by then? Okay, that's why I did 2 o'clock.